young lady helped me today write the agenda for the day. So as we continue to go, we will continue to do those things ourselves and create this program for ourselves. So it is what we said it is. It is your program, and people have stepped up and made suggestions, and we've tried our best to try to fill those things in, and we appreciate that. But
when are we going to vote on our name?
the voting on the name, I like that. So we talked about that last night, actually, and we're setting up this week. Right now, we're dealing with the technology and starting our groups, and then next week we'll go into like names and logo ideas and all that stuff again. So we'll pick that back up next week. So let's break into what groups we're in and we're gonna finish our job description contest today. So does at least one person from that group have the original job description? I'm sure you guys. If you don't, please let me know. I'll make some copies. All right? But let's break into our groups. Let's put our tables back together so that we can meet. Or you got
Somebody write this down.
Is it good work?
Yeah.
you guys are these.
So are you guys all okay with the job description? Do you want me to read it?
Try to add more smart words.
Youth leaders.
Paragraph long, actually. It's not. We don't want to bore them to death.
All right. Youth leaders that are passionate in making an educational difference for an impact in our community. We can add to it, or we can make a new one.
What'd you guys do on?
While you're gone?
Poetry.
Just now?
Oh, yeah.
Poetry.
We got to know each other.
So those are part of icebreakers. So our team building.
Yeah, team building.
What else did you guys do? What else have you guys done?
When you were gone?
Or just the whole, ever since past 3 weeks?
That one song thingy. Does not feel like 3 weeks.
Oh. As long as you get in there and access the drive, it should be fine. Yeah, all right, cool. It's not a problem. I don't see it being a problem.
You done with yours too? My what? Your research thing.
Have seen bullying occurring in their schools. Basically, so much teens see bullying in their school and they don't do anything about it. I mean, if someone steps up and do something about it, it like prevents very little bullying. You know, it prevents and prevents and prevents.
Blows what?
Blows what?
Everyone who is wearing a white.
And the ones wearing white. Boom, boom, boom.
Wind comes.
Wind blows.
Blows what? Blows what?
Anybody wearing, what's that color? Turquoise.
Huh? What?
Turquoise.
I don't know what turquoise is.
Am I wearing turquoise?
Yep.
I don't even know what turquoise is.
I still.
Wind comes.
Wind blows.
Blows
what? Blows what?
Rainbow.
Anyone with a black iPad.
Cheated over me. At this point, think about what question they have for Commissioner Lindsay, so that they are prepared for the conversation that we're going to have with him.
This is so exciting.
Do you have the payments for your students? And do you have the payments for yours? Okay. Method payment? Okay.
We're at the History Museum.
Doing.
Exploring, learning about information.
So it's just, okay. It's just
right? Raise your hand if you're in the Native American Education Group. Okay, you guys want to go with Alana. And then we have, are you working with the self-sustaining schools? We'll go with Legacy Keepers and Jay. That work? Don't worry. All right. Well,
I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to come here to the museum and to see what Minnesota was like. And can't wait to get into the exhibit where the tornado took place in Fridley. So I'm just really glad that the kids are getting this experience.
It was interesting seeing all the different families that have lived in the house. Just, a little bit disappointed that there's nothing about Latinos, our history here in Minnesota, since there's been a lot of Latino immigration in Minnesota. I think there was 100,000 Latinos just right here on the west side of St. Paul, not far from here, in 1910. So it's crazy to think that there's nothing in the Minnesota Historical Museum about our culture. A lot of the students are pretty disappointed about that.
but you know, I did learn a lot just going through the Our House exhibit, and I learned that, you know, just different people from all different walks of life establish, you know, themselves here in this country. And I was talking to Maria today, earlier this morning, and we were talking about the immigration laws and everything that I see on the news. And I said, you know, she wants to be an immigration lawyer. And I was just talking to her, I said, you know, why did they stop immigration now in 2014 when it's really what built the whole country? So when you see all the people that live in this house that we just went through in this exhibit, you know, why did that now change? So that's a question that I had, and it's a question that, you know, it's interesting to see, you know, if we do some research around that topic, how that affects education and everything else. So
Through the tornado, we went through the now and then. I think that was the funnest. The Iron Range. Did you like anything? Or what did you like the best?
The TP.
Oh, the teepee was fun. We knew the guy that was in there, and he was very comedian, making us laugh. The video in it? Yeah, that was cool. Anything else that you liked?
No, not specifically.
It was fun. We had a blast.
Yay for more energy. So I am so excited to talk to you guys and hang out with you all today. Just to let you know, right now we are in the Capitol complex, which is kind of a big deal. So it's pretty high security around here. So from here, the History Center on toward the Capitol, we're in the Capitol complex. So we're going to walk from here to the Capitol, which is really short. We're going to walk past some state agencies, which I'll describe later. And we're going to end up on the Capitol steps, and then we're going to talk a little more about what your role could be in the future, whether
last time I saw stuff that
It was hot, a lot of walking, and very interesting. I like the museum.
Today was okay. There was a lot of information, but then I think the student capital was interesting, just because I didn't know a lot. It was just really hot, but it was good.
Okay, I'll be completely honest. I actually liked today. I liked going to the museum, even though I kind of thought it was irrelevant to what we were discussing yesterday, but it was a nice journey and a nice effort. I liked getting to meet people that work and represent us, and I liked I don't remember her name, but the lady who had gave us that speech at the Capitol, I liked that. And I didn't like that we had to wait for one of our students to come join us. It was kind of sad. But it was a nice day. It's nice, even though it's hot. Let's not forget that it snows 12 months. So, not really, but it feels like it snows all the time.
I like the museum. It was really awesome.
Yeah,
that little movie we watched, you were in there with us.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
the museum that we were in
inspiring.
today. Sorry for talking over you. I think I should let you talk. The museum was an incredible, fascinating experience. I like the tornado one. So I kind of got to experience it, but not fully to the extent of me being so frightened and being scared and screaming like a little girl, but just seeing how it happens. So that was interesting to see. And then
I like the plane one.
Which
That we
one?
were in the army plane or whatever it was.
Oh, the army plane. Yes,
my
the
God,
army
dude.
plane. Tell us something about that. I know you had a touching story towards that.
Yes. I actually felt like I was in there in one of the soldiers, ready to go into action. And then we just hear their voices. It's just amazing. Like you feel like you're in there.
Yeah. It's like kind of like a first-person shooter game, kind of. Like you have the first-person experience, but not the full experience, but the experience. That's all I gotta say. It's been a fun day. It's been a fun day.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. I appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you and share a little bit with you today about the department. I guess first off, though, I'm kind of interested as to hearing a little bit from you as it relates to what brought you here today to find out information from the department.
What we're trying to do is change the educational system by the students' point of view, and so that's why we're all here and putting in our efforts.
So the department does three main things. The primary duties is to investigate charges of discrimination, and those can come in a wide variety of areas, like in healthcare, environmental, or health. The most common one is an employment discrimination dispute. So to the extent that you go and work for somebody, and then they feel that you're treating them, or you feel that they're treating you unfairly, you can bring a charge of discrimination to the department. So that's part of the work which the department does. The second is the department takes on what we view as ensuring equal opportunity on all state contracts. So any contract that's over $100,000, the department ensures that people of color and women have opportunities to work on various projects. And really impressed upon all commissioners is to work on increasing educational opportunities for all people. And specifically the Commissioner of Education and myself have really been very intentional in trying to bring more equity in the area of educational attainment for all people within the state of Minnesota. The thing which I had found when I first became commissioner is that I would be in various legislative committee hearings, and I would see people of color around the respective table, and it didn't seem that there had been any effort by any of the administrative agencies to sort of reach out to those communities and kind of hear from their vantage point what the solution to that problem would be. So again, going back to that third primary duty of education, conference, and conciliation, you can't have conciliation, you can't have discussion, you can't have partnership, you can't have collaboration if you're not first of all listening and engaged in a conversation with those communities. So again, not rocket science, but you got to be at the table to be part of it and to have more long-lasting success on solutions to various problems. So, some conversations as it relates to how school districts identify individual students for special ed services. And probably the one you've heard the most about is probably school bullying. So we had a task force which looked specifically at school bullying. And we went around the state and we heard from students as it relates to how they perceive school bullying, what it meant, how schools had failed to support them in areas of school bullying. And from that, this past legislative session introduced a bill. The bill got signed into law by the governor a couple days before Mother's Day. And we're going to be working with the Department of Public Safety and Education and other stakeholders around the state to ensure that the school bullying law that we heard from students gets enforced the way they thought it should be.
So we're going to ask you to do a couple of things. One, thank you for your time.
Thank you.